welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Songs of Six in our Garthimi city. Let's watch our army here walk over to laying siege in the next city, just in case we have to fight the garrison. We're 300 large, so they might leave us alone as we cross into the siege. They appear to be doing so. And again, the region down here should be reasonably stable now that it's just the Garthimi that love us. And same sort of thing with this one. This one loves us, so we can actually go and raise the tax rate here. Not that we're... Actually, we've got the workforce balanced perfectly, so we're not getting any tax, but fine. And of course, we're not going to auto-resolve and only take 8 casualties for 300, so we're going to wait and do the siege. But while that siege is ongoing, we can get back to growing in the city. We're waiting for the Baltic Crawler breeder here to be carved out of the mountain and assembled. So we got more meat coming in. I could do more fisheries down here. Although I think I'll wait until the good catch modifier goes away, so we've got better, more accurate prediction on what our food in out is. We are also trying to grow up to 1,500. I suppose if I'm still on campaign, it would again make sense maybe to grab more stockades. We do collect quite a few prisoners, and those prisoners get turned into POWs with jobs with enough patience. So having a fairly large stockade would not be too terrible. We've got some terrible land somewhere. Yeah, we've got some terrible land down here that would work reasonably well. Okay. Let's make a really big stockade for storing our prisoners. Storing the soon-to-be involuntary labor force. That'll hold 18 guards, or we have 18 guards and hold up to another 180 prisoners. Let's go and do that. There's definitely an argument in that in this city we are not good people, as we do a lot of slavery. I arguably have enough clay. We can distribute the clay as furniture. Let's think about doing that. So food stall or marketplaces. Let them grab industry-wide clay for distribution. And then we'll do the first tick on the clay. So we'll basically go ahead and grab the full furniture bonus here for the Garthimi. It's fairly easy because it's just clay and regular stone. For a lot of the other races, it's a lot more troublesome. Yeah, I can imagine the marketplaces will be maybe a little overworked as we start to drive and ship clay to them and via them out to the people. Because yeah, distributing thousands of clay is not the fastest thing in the world. And then our stockade is prepped. Okay. And it'll provide us, basically allow us to take 200 prisoners in at a time. A little bit of housing accessibility up there. how much I can do to get workers in there. At some point I think I need to build bigger tailors. Although that probably needs to be a transition when we transition over to using cloth. Using fabric instead of leather. Siege is down to 15, so we'll come over here and we'll watch the siege out. Although, oh, you're still going along, yeah. We've been sieging for 5 days, and it's already dropped from 170 to 7 now. Although it might be the 6th day at this point. Oh no, 5.5 days. We're waiting for tick down to 0 so we can order the final acquisition. 4 to 2. We're getting warnings about something. Trapped. I think I know what's happening. People got into the back there. Yeah, people got into the cave back here before the road got carved through. We'll just let that happen. They'll only get untrapped eventually. There we go. Siege is over. Slave, loot, and raise. We're not chivalrous in this run. We are very unmerciful. So we're going to prosecute everyone who's not our race. Because again, we are not the good guys. Anyway, the place is slated to grow, but it's slated to first shrink, so we'll leave the army there for a little while the region becomes a little bit more loyal, like this one. This one's actually loyal enough I can crank the taxes up. Crank the taxes up to 33 people so we get more money out of them, yeah. Assume they're stuck in the cave. Yeah, they're stuck in the cave. Again, the permanent way to get these guys out is to finish carving the access tunnel to the cave. Okay, so our fishery bonus has gone away, so we're losing 140 fish per day. We got surplus meat of about 50, so that looks like we'd be negative, except that's not accounting for decay. So yeah, the stockpiles won't run out before everyone's been served. Or the services are positive, so I'm not too concerned about that. Anyway, we're distributing meat and fish. Only meat and fish, which is what we want. We still aren't making enough rations, so there's a temptation to get more grain farms to make more bread to make more rations. I wonder, would a culvert jump here? No, the culvert jump would be a little short, a little long. I could take a bit of the corner off to do the jump if I wanted to, but I think we'll leave that as a dry area, but storage buildings. In which case I can run canals up from here. I'm gonna go into planning because I want to plan sort of for spacing out. So I think if I say copy and paste you, like so. And then not in planning, that should give us an approximation for where we want the canal to be. thinking the canal wants to be something like there. We'll need a couple more people on canal pump duty. We'll add metal to the pump, improve the efficiency, because we'll keep the number of workers on there. That field, and once we've got the canal in there, we can check to see if that is enough. Appropriate size for the field. I'm gonna run the... Oh, actually, no, this is gonna be the maximum height of the field, isn't it? Yeah, that's maximum height of the field. Now we see how much we can get probably hydrated in here. Again, the land not next to canals have variable hydration. There we go. So we're going to have weird notches out of some of our fields like that to keep the fields maximally productive. And then I want to build a grain field over the other side. Same height. Now the question is, how far off the thing can I go? Keep it 100% hydration. Looks to be about this width. Yeah, about that width. Here we go. It's another field. This area of sand in here we don't want to farm on. So probably want to build something in here. How goes the janitor coverage? I don't think the janitors reach that far north. Oh no, the janitors cover that bit. Okay, so this looks like a good area to put some buildings in. Because I can get janitor access to them. That probably makes that a good place to put the bakers we want for the new fields. Bakers and warehouses and such, okay. Let's get the fields in first before I can figure out how many I need. Oop, the new slaves from the territory are causing our submission to drop. Fulfillment, army, humidifier. Yeah, okay. So I think the solution in the long term to that is more garrison troops. Train more people to serve up in the local militia. How goes the recovery here? Okay, so all the other population is gone, so at least the region will be stable. I think I want to go this way. Gotta stop these guys from expanding, because we got lots of territory over here. That'd be nice. You're decently good hydration. Or I could go for this in the decent hydration in here. $189, $179. Okay, it's about the same. There's closer, so we'll go siege that place down. At some point I should revisit what sorts of slaves I've got. Oh, we have a field battle here. They're actually going to go try to stop us from crossing the border. 300 versus 189. So we will take command of the siege. The Twitch chatter says, hello. And we've also got, how is it going tonight? Man, it's going reasonably well. We're taking advantage of some of the regional towns here, rebelling against their former masters and sending our troops in to bring them under our control instead. So we'll get our main group way around. Deployed in line, and then our secondary group in sort of the box behind them. To be ready to do some flanking, and we'll let them come to us first. Ideally, want to encourage them to charge our front instead of one of them coming and sliding into the flank. And then we're going to throw our 100 around behind them, so we get flanking effect on their morale. And now, if everything goes according to plan, the enemy will break en route, and we can go lay siege to the city. With, at this point, a significantly reduced garrison, because this is the garrison. This is the city garrison we're facing. They're complaining about their flanks being compromised. They're not so much. Who's that saying? I remember in the last update you kill an army with archery only. You can. Archery is fairly strong. I definitely lose units frequently to it. You can also run hybrid units, which are both archers and melees if you want. I don't necessarily have the industrial capacity or the lumber to be building archers in the city, which is why we haven't been doing that. I would say archers are probably also a little bit better for just raw numbers, because you can get the whole unit firing. Right, in our big units here, the back line is actually not really participating very much. Other than the intimidation factor of having a back line like that. Whereas in a archer formation, obviously, the back line shoots. to get a little bit more effectiveness for weapons. I can definitely see why the garrison sallied. The garrison is performing very well. Talapi are the only race you played. Well, the Talapi are definitely the best for the archers. They really like archery. Here we're the Garthimi. We're the insect guys, the bug guys. Lots of easy numbers. Not necessarily the best at morale, but they sort of use sort of well attuned to sort of swarm tactics. I think they have a native weapon attack. I think they have some base damage on them, but other races don't. Nope, one of the enemies broke. The enemy formation rapidly evaporates. Yeah, it wasn't the best exchange. We lost 36 of our Garthimi to 189 garrisoned Bretonnians here. We can execute them. We can capture them. Capture them is what we're going to go with because we're good old slavers. We're going to go take them back to become slaves. And we go lay siege to the city, which potentially hasn't had enough time to get the garrison back. Oh, it did. Oh, this will be a pretty short siege. There's only 25 guys that managed to get back to the city in time. And my stockades are probably very full. You're up in the 50s of prisoners, okay. Okay, so that's another 20 workers on farms, so that means we can probably get another bakery ration maker in. Stay down here. You fit in there? That's a little tight, but you can. Plop you in there. Yeah, I think we're gonna want warehouse roughly assigned like that one is. We'll drag the warehouse down here. We'll put the warehouse closer to the pumps over here. And then we'll sort of fill this area up in here with ration makers and bakeries as we do more fields. Culvert jump. Do we want to do another culvert jump? Do another culvert jump. And then in planning mode, I'm going to plan out the next field. I'm basically going to copy this one to get us a rough estimate on how much we want the field wide. And this is why we did the culvert jump, is we want to connect the canal to you, but not have it in the way of these guys moving around. Run the canal up the end like so. And then we're going to delete the field, and we can backfill the field when the canal's in. Do enough water pressure. 40, I should probably put another 2 people in the pump. What is the optimal way of building bug pens? You're gonna need to be a bit more specific about that. Are you talking about the batty crawler breeders for harvesting meat from, or are you talking about the Garthimi hatcheries? couple different things you can mean when you're talking about the bug pens, because we've got bugs eating bugs here to confuse things. Okay, so the canal's in, so let's go ahead. I want to do a copy, I want to build another. And let's get our field in here. Okay, so we're at 98 moisture, so we want to cut bits off. Sort of the dry interior here. The breeders. I assume you mean the battlecrawler breeders. There's a couple different ways you can go about doing them. I'll show you how I've done them, which is maybe, well... So the thing to remember with the battlecrawler breeders is the battlecrawler breeders don't take maintenance. There's no... Your janitors don't need to come maintain these. Like other pastures and farms, they don't require any maintenance. The drawback of building them like I've built them, which is just build them as big as possible, is they're really expensive to build. Because without adequate support, because these are classified as buildings, even though they're buildings that don't need maintenance. Without adequate support, you're paying a cost multiplier on the initial build. Normally that would also transfer into maintenance, but again, farms and pastures don't cost maintenance. So if you want to just maximize how much output you can get from an area, you can pay a premium in lumber to build them and just build big, which is what I've been doing. So makes them expensive to build, but it's an upfront cost, and then the longer you keep them, the more they return value. So that's what we've been doing. And then once you've gone and decided how big you want them, you have the gate that you just put where you want the gate to be, and just build enough of the sort of service building and the efficiency buildings, auxiliary buildings or whatever you want to call them inside. They get to 100% efficiency. So they're easy to build. The biggest cost associated with them is that they aren't necessarily cheap. Unless you leave supports inside, and then even there, they're not very cheap, because you've got every support you're putting in them is taking space out of where you can put the battlecrawler. Effectively, have taking animals out of the location. So it's just how much upfront cost you want to pay. So I'm not necessarily going to say these are optimal, because the optimality there is very subjective. They're expensive from a wood standpoint, the way I'm building them here, with really, really big ones. Early on, so it wouldn't have been in this stream, but in previous streams, we had a couple down here on the coastline that were little weird shapes that, with pastures, you can get away with weird shapes. We're just doing big squares like these because that's as big as you can make them without the thing complaining about size. So again, they work pretty easily. And then you want to make sure they have access to adequate moisture. They want 50% average moisture. So if you happen to have mountains or whatever that are 50% moisture, yeah, okay. Good to know you might go back into the game. And you want to look for 50% moisture. If you've got mountains that are natively 50% moisture, you just plop them. If you don't, you can run canals. And you can see that even these really, really big ones, right? This area was actually 0% moisture, so we need the canal here to get the moisture up to 50%. We only need 50% average moisture, so literally ringing them with a canal is enough to get the full-size one to the target moisture. So the worst you're going to have to do is ring them with the canal, which is what's going on here. So these are outdoor ones. Outdoor ones aren't as efficient animal-wise as the indoor ones. So if you're worried about upfront cost, if you can build them in the mountain. They're an indoor pasture, and their preference is to be in the mountain. You can put them outside the mountain if you have to. And on some maps you will have to. And then the Balti crawlers are also They look like they have very bad productivity with 0.7 base meat yield. And that, if that was what you were getting, would be really bad. And that's what everyone that is not Garthimi gets. The Garthimi get a 3x yield multiplier. As you can see there with the species, 3x there. So if you're doing the Garthimi, do Baltic crawlers. If you're not Garthimi, unless you have to do meat in the mountain, in which case, your mountain crops are Baltic crawlers and mushrooms. So if you gotta do crops in the mountain, those are your two options. You gotta pick between those. I think the other people that want to be in the mountains are the Dondorians. And the Dondorians like mushrooms. So if you're having to make the choice between Baltic crawlers and mushrooms, you probably go mushrooms, not Baltic crawlers. But yeah, they're pretty easy to do because you don't have to worry about maintenance. If you had to worry about maintenance, you got to remember to put supports in. Otherwise, you're going to multiply the maintenance to high heaven, and that makes them more complicated to build. And pretty much everything we said about the Baltic crawlers applies to the mushroom farms when you're building them outside the mountains. They only cost upfront costs, so technically they cost more mushrooms, because you build them out of mushrooms. And I suppose in the case of the mushroom farms, then you care even less about the upfront cost. It's just more mushrooms. Assuming you get enough mushrooms to get the first farm going, you'll be good. Thinking about it, let's get this second one placed in before I get distracted too much. Let's see if I can get 100% moisture yield here. It isn't actually 100% moisture. When you're in this mode, the moisture percentage here is moisture of target. And farms want 90% moisture, pastures want 50%. These grain farms are going to want 90. So the canal that we've got over here is providing a full 100% within a certain range of it. And the sort of... it wants 90% average, so I'm sort of removing tiles that I suspect are not 100%. Try to get it to average 100% of the target, which is 90%. There we go. And yeah, I probably need to slow down on taking in more slaves. Or we really rapidly need to increase the garrison. The slaves are getting a little uppity. I should review what sorts of slaves I have. Oops. What I'm trying to get to. Variety. I'm trying to do the work varieties. That's what I'm trying to get to. So I can see how many of each slave type we got. We got 43, 44 Crotonian slaves, 1 Dondorian, 21 Garthimi, 111 humans. Okay. 1 of you, 4 of you. Okay, so the humans are notable, and apparently make up most of my slaves. I can do more libraries, laboratories, and admin at this point, is what that's telling me. Yeah. Probably wants to be libraries. So where do I want to build a massive library? So I think that's what we want to do next. I'm going to make like 100. And I suppose actually only humans are going to be in the library, so the library can just be square. Think about that. Thinking the sand over here would not be terrible. Although, what services do the slaves need? They don't need all of the... they need the basics. Hearth, well, food stall, market, toilet, vision. I've been forgetting to put benches around. Okay. And they probably want a guard post to... they don't benefit in the guard... well... so they probably do benefit in the guard post, because that would be law and order. They get benefits, or good uppityness from not having law and order. Oh no. Oh, they might not care about law and order. Okay. definitely want to raise our mission, which is going to be getting more military for the moment. Distribute more clay to the Ermithy. Yeah, I think we're going to put a housing block over there, so we're going to want along the road, let's say, Hearth. Well, apparently if this is going to basically be a slave area, I don't need the speaker, but we're going to want to mark it. A food stall. Put a space between the two that I didn't want. Pop that for the moment. Grab it again. Go. Do the slaves need shrine? They do benefit from the shrine, so we should give them shrine access. And then we're gonna need a janitor. It's the janitor. And I think this is the warehouse I've got for supplying the janitors. Across the street like so. And then I think I'll copy and paste the housing block we've got here. So the slaves have some place to live. And then the rest of the sand over here, I'm gonna go ahead and design a really big lab. Which again, this is gonna be full of mostly humans, so it does not need to be round. Although it doesn't need to be square either. So I can build it whatever shape makes the most sense. The contents. Not lab. Library. Want the other type. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's about where we want the road to be. So we do a big one like you. Now I am probably going to want adequate supports in here. So look like something like you. That actually works pretty well. Okay. That might work well. Okay. See how much I can tessellate in here. This might actually be a bigger library than I was thinking. Oh, I'm low on furniture. I'm low on furniture. Still gonna build this, or at least plan it up. I might put it, I might pause the construction until we sort the furniture out. Can I make this longer? I can. Okay. So yes, this is going to be a, like, the definition of a large library. $200 workers. Nice. Now, can I get enough supports in here? Of a symmetric pattern. Get all the yellow tiles to go away. And then the efficiency ones in here are carpets. So we're going to put the carpets in last. And we have enough support, so that is adequate support. Okay. Foundation's fine, that's because we're building on sand, which isn't ideal. And then carpets. Yeah, let's start off with a row. Let's have the work sites. Humans can stand on carpets while they're working. Yeah, it's making a difference. It's not making a lot of difference, but it's making a difference. Okay, all the areas where people gotta stand to do work now have carpets in them. That added 15% to the efficiency. So to start, let's bring carpets down the main way down the middle. Okay, that's 3% more. In such large buildings, I tend to try to keep the buildings fairly symmetric and regular. It allows me to notice irregularities in how I've built the building. And potentially allows me to think of ways to get just that little more out of the building if I fall short. So this is a really large building, so we're probably going to not have quite enough efficiency here. On the first pass, putting carpets in. Might need to add like another hallway going down one side of the building or something to get in, in. And I can see one thing I left out. I have left you out. Apparently I didn't need that specific one, because it was working with that one missing. I have that one left out as well. Oh, and I didn't have that on the other end, so we'll take it out at the ends. So... okay. Up to 83. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to put another hallway in here just to have the space for enough. Carpets for the number of work sites. This is one reason why super optimizing your packing on everything on buildings like this for the initial build out is maybe not the best thing to do all the time. Because then you don't have enough empty space for the carpets or the support buildings or whatever. Missed one there. And yeah, so that's every tile in there used, and we're up to 88 of 100% efficiency. So I think the easiest way to put more efficiency in here is effectively add another vertical hallway. Brings it to 92. Do the same on the other side. Give another hallway. Still not quite enough. Got a hallway on one of the ends. That introduces some yellow tiles. That can be worked with. So in this case, this would be less of a hallway because I've got to put a support in. Oh, actually, I see what we can do. Here we go. That's a hallway. And 97%. So we're gonna have to do the same on the other side. It's still not. So close. Okay. Can I put that support? No, I need to leave that one out. Okay. Start with something like that. I'm so close. Oh, what one side does? Okay, so we can do one side. That'll work. Work with one side. Okay. Now we just need to put some doors in. So that makes a nice door location. That makes a nice door location. We'll do one in the middle. 1 row, 2 row, 3 row, 4 row, 5 row. So yeah, five sets up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the dividing line between the two, I think. And then if I can squeeze it in, maybe the corners. And there we go. The only thing we're taking penalties from is the foundation, which is tolerable. Okay. So we're going to pause that until I sort out the furniture. Because apparently, well, I haven't been looking, we've run out of furniture. Something's wrong with my furniture production. Something is wrong with my furniture production, yes. So we're having a workload issue. Why are you having a workload issue? That would imply that you're making too much, that your storage is full. Falling would make more sense. That would just mean you don't have enough furniture nearby. Or enough wood nearby. Although it might be... Oh, it's workload when it's not in travel distance. That's what's going on. So, yeah, the nearest warehouse is out of wood. Where is my wood? Got 165 wood somewhere. Where did the wood go? Or 1.6k wood somewhere, so there's wood somewhere. You don't have wood. So not you. Not you. Not you. Not in the original warehouse. You've got all the wood. Okay. I'm not entirely sure where you have all the wood, but that at least means I can temporarily fix it by telling you, pull from you. In the meantime, let's get an import depot going on wood, because obviously we're having wood delivery issues to the furniture makers. Import depot down there. And I'd rather import wood than furniture. Wood costs 16 to buy, and furniture costs 169 to buy. So, yeah, we'd rather buy wood than furniture. Especially as it's a 2 to half recipe. We're putting you on wood. Bring in more wood. That's gonna tank what little treasure we've got, but that shouldn't be too bad. I'm just gonna... The clay is being produced adequately enough. We overproduce clay for, well, important reasons, but... If anything, I'd probably turn it down at this point. And then this building's going to cost 215 furniture. And we're importing the cloth to build the building as well. Now, on the world map, siege is not done yet. You're not at 300 yet. You're not at 300 yet. Although you're still recovering devastation, so it's still going to be a while. Although, actually, maybe not that long. We got pretty good prop growth. 17% prop growth on 200 people is pretty fast at this point. So you're going to need 300 pretty soon. Getting to 600, we don't have the tech to actually make use of 600, so we're not worried about that yet. Almost there. Okay, so, one question. The siege is about to end. Do I want more slaves? I do, but I don't think we've got the... I don't think we've got the military to keep them submissive. Well, yeah, that's what's going on. We don't have the military to keep them submissive. So I need the military to grow. Fair enough. Okay. So that means when we go ahead and seize the city, normally, if I wanted slaves, I'd smack the first button and we'd get all these... Well, we wouldn't get all those slaves. Let's be real. We wouldn't get all those slaves, and that's because we don't have storage capacity for that many POWs. We only have storage capacity for 200. We get 200 of these. We're obviously not going to hit that button because I don't need more slaves right now. We're going to loot, we're going to raise. Region is ours. And we are horrible, horrible bugmen, so we don't have everyone come into our region besides us. And it's now our region. And the army will stay there until we get 100%, or get decent loyalty before we move on to another region. Ooh, this place has got great moisture. Target 420 with still 100% devastation from raising the region. So this will bounce back real fast. This will get real big. Yeah, we're looking at probably once the devastation goes away, target 400 is going to go to 1600. This is a place where Warren's probably trying to get some tech to Grow the vassal kingdom a little bit bigger than normal. You're doing pretty good. What do you? Oh yeah, because we got everyone killed out of that place. Okay. Still waiting on you to get to 300 before we can start taxing more wood, which is probably what we want. We probably want more wood to start getting enough meat from the town, our own town, that I don't need to import meat. Okay, so we got the furniture makers going faster again. Yeah, they're going faster again. Maybe not going fast enough. Has workload improved on these guys? Workload's back up to full. Okay. What about over here? Workload's back up to full. Okay. So that's still not enough. That's probably saying I need another carpenter. Yeah, plus 1.5 is probably not enough. Yeah, I'm gonna pull up another carpenter over there. Because I think we just need to convert more wood into furniture. I'll probably try to bring more wood in as taxes, but... so we're not paying for it, per se. And then the other checkup, do we have enough housing in the local areas? We do up north. We got a shortage in here. Okay, so I need more around where the furniture makers are. Fair enough. And then the regional... oh, our training facilities are being spent improving the training on the existing units, right? That's what's going on. Mostly. Why does it seem like the army's getting bigger? Housing looking better down here? Yeah, okay, so we've got the housing sorted out for everyone. Maybe not a lot of surplus, but enough housing. And now, in theory, we're making like 13 a day. So we should wait until that piles up a little bit, and then we can get that new lab functioning. Wait until it stacks up to like 200, yeah. Probably want to bring in more fabric. Where's my fabric importer? Here's the fabric importer. You can take the target up to... 150? Not enough that we can build that? Yeah, 150 will be enough for that. We can build that. And then while we're waiting for more of that, do I want to do more farming in here? I think the answer is yes. Although we're on to... I'm about to move off of the rich onto till. Yeah, we're on till here. That would be till, except for the one square of sand. have a little more rich in here. I want to do some stuff with culverts. Yeah, let's put a couple more on the pumps and do some stuff with culverts so I can do some jumping with the irrigation. Water, culvert. I'm going to do a max length jump and a max length jump. I'm thinking of doing something like E2. Yeah, and then we can basically build a farm around that U, so we get a little more fields in. And that's as wide as I can make it, right? Yeah, that's what's going on there. Still getting 100% hydration. How much bigger can I make it and still get 100% hydration? That's always a good question. I think I'm approaching the limit off of that canal. Yeah, they're right about there. Yeah, okay. That'll work. Just over 19 farmer jobs. Which actually should be enough for another ration maker granary combo. The Iron forces are growing. They're growing a bit slowly because I'm trying to keep the troops also reasonably trained, which is maybe an argument to not increase training but increase numbers. Although from an environment standpoint, our guys are perfectly happy about the army size. Well, actually, no. As the city's growing, they want a little bit more. Because it's 25% of the city. So, yeah, so the Garthimi wanted to be 25% of the city. So I'm forgetting that includes the slaves. Yeah, I'm forgetting that includes the slaves. I still have odd jobbers, and I don't actually have odd jobbers. I should probably bring in more Garthimi in and do more training facilities. I can fit some more in somewhere. Not too out of the way. That's what this is. I don't really want to get any closer to the mine over there. So I can probably slam another one in here. Yeah, it didn't pinch on the road a little bit, but that's fine. Actually, that works pretty well if I don't mind it. Yeah, I can even go so far as to slap a door into the neighboring building. There we go. Okay, and yeah, let's bring another 100 people in, and I'll probably have to... Well, I say set the target at another 100 higher. That's actually only going to bring 60 in, but fair enough. So 600 more people in, that'll provide some odd jobbers to work in the trading facility. Once that's built, and once those are built, and I suppose that when that's built, and then we'll have to revisit potentially building some more housing to support the growing everything. There have been enough housing. That growth. Is there any particular districts with a housing issue? I was expecting bringing 60 people in would give me a housing problem, but apparently they fit into all the voids, so everything's fine. Has the unrest declined enough? Loyalty is high enough, okay. Where do I want these guys to march to next? Those are both good targets. Although both of those are I'm gonna see resistance finding those locations. Yeah, I'm gonna see resistance finding those locations. There I won't see any resistance, because that's sub 150. Okay, if I want those guys to not expand south towards us, let's go take that place over. So in order that move, this region hasn't hit 300 yet, not 300 yet. You have crossed the 300 line. Why am I not being presented with the ability to do that? Because I don't have the money on hand. Need to sort out our money problems. Before we can do more region expansion. Okay. Which we're going to want to do anyway. That's probably sort out the wood problems. Although weirdly that means I need to sort the wood problems out before I have the money to sort the wood problems out. We'll think about that in the next one. We've come up on a place where I'm going to go ahead and put a part break in. If you're watching on YouTube, there will be more up. We're going to record 2 more parts tonight, so you should be expecting a part up tomorrow. And probably the day after tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. We're going to take a short break here, so I can go and replace my cup of tea, so I can keep my voice working for the rest of the recording. We are going to record 2 more parts after the tea break, with probably a break between the 2 parts. It'll be an hour break and then another hour, although that last break will be a bit on the smaller side. So with that, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and good time. Catch you all in the next part and or stream, and bye for now.